Well, I guess those NHL teams did not share our excitement for a 4-game Monday. 4 games last night, 4 unders last night. And while I would expect that to be the case with the Devils and the Minnesota Wild, where every single point is at a premium for those two teams, to see it in Colorado, to see it in Philadelphia in a game between two teams who had nothing to play for. Now, I did want to add this caveat. It is a little bit of a double-edged sword when two teams are completely out of it. On one side, you can get a 7-5 thriller like we saw over the weekend with Philadelphia. The other side is you have two teams who are just trying to get to the end of the season. They got their golf course lined up. They got plans on Tuesday. They got a lot of errands to run.
We're going to go to Home Depot.
So you can get two very disinterested, non-involved teams who play a 2-1 stinker like last night. So that is something to keep in the back of your head.
Maybe Bed Bath & Beyond, I don't know. I don't know if we'll have enough time.
But the Colorado game stayed under in Colorado. The Dallas game stayed under in Seattle. It was a Monday night of unders, and the silver lining there is it's a good reminder as to what's to come. I told you, as we enter playoffs, it's going to be a lot of unders. And guess what? I see some games on this slate that have a lot of playoff implications, and games that can follow similar trajectories to those games that we saw last night. But because I know you start malfunctioning like a Westworld robot, just, you need to hear some overs first. You need to hear some points. You need to hear some pizzeria picks. Let's start you with something you can handle, something you can digest. The Tampa Bay Lightning are playing the New York Islanders in/on Long Island, depending on who you talk to. And the New York Islanders just played Tampa over the weekend in Tampa. It was actually like a 4-3 or 5-3 quote-unquote thriller. But that's because Jonas Johansson was playing. There was no Andrei Vasilevsky. Andrei Vasilevsky is playing as well as he has at any point in the last 4 or 5 years. And I think with this New York Islanders offense currently being what it is, I don't think it should be much trouble for him to hold the Islanders under 2.5 goals. So you want a pizzeria play there? I like the New York Islanders under 2.5 goals because I like the Tampa Bay Lightning to win in this game. This is a game in that division where I feel like every last team is trying to win every last game, so they have to avoid each other in round one. And that's kind of been the case, whether you're talking about the Leafs or the Panthers. Even though the Panthers lost the other night, they've been ripping off some wins. Tampa's been winning left and right. These three teams, it seems like, are going to try to win every single game to make sure that they're first in the division, and this is an extremely winnable game for the red-hot Tampa Bay Lightning. So I like Tampa to win this game, and you could really do something to make this an easy plus money if you want to be a money line guy. Point, notorious, well-known Islander killer, him for a point, Lightning to win. That's like a plus 115. But what did I tell you earlier this year? All season long, I don't care who they're playing. I don't care if they're playing the 2003 Trap Devils. If you click Jake Guentzel and you click Point, and they're on the same line as Nikita Kucherov, and that shows you a plus, you're taking it every single game. I'm seeing them at plus 110, and I'm taking Point and Guentzel both for a point each. I think they almost had 3 points each on Saturday against the Islanders, and I like them both to snag a point in this game at a plus 110. And now let's talk about some potential playoff foes, some Western Conference playoff teams who are facing off against one another. And the first is the Edmonton Oilers visiting the Vegas Golden Knights in what could be a playoff preview here. These teams, they played 2 years ago in round 2 of the playoffs. Vegas won that series. I don't want to say they won thoroughly, but they won Game 6 definitively in Edmonton to just put an end to that series. And they've kind of had their number over these last couple of years, whether McDavid was playing or McDavid's not playing. They've won, I believe, 2 of 3 games so far this season. And in a game without Connor McDavid, I know Draisaitl came back last game, and they weaseled a comeback win in overtime. But right now, as it stands, this Vegas team is, without McDavid in the lineup, considerably better than this Edmonton team. So it's going to take one hell of an effort for Edmonton if they're going to want to pull off a win here, especially when you factor in the motivation. Other than sending a message to a potential playoff foe, Edmonton's kind of cemented in to that 3rd seed, unless they can kind of go on a run and maybe get home ice. But I'll tell you what, if you need motivation, if you stay in this 3rd seed and don't jump the Kings, I know you beat the Kings 3 years in a row, but you're talking about the team with the best home record in the NHL. You might want to make things a little bit easier for yourself by not starting the playoffs in a building like that. But in this game between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers, I do favor Vegas to win this game. I'm looking for other things to take in here. I don't like Edmonton's ability to score. I don't like any team's ability to score a bunch on Vegas. Bruce Cassidy's team, you know you can trust them in good games to give you a solid defensive effort. But rather than go under on the team total like I did with the Islanders, I'm going to look for players, good values on players, and we're going to carry this right into the playoffs. A player who's in the right situation to take for an under half of a point and hopefully a good price. I got another one in the other big marquee matchup out west, but we'll get to that in a second. Right now, I'm going to go with the under half of a point on the other scam star. The 1A, 1B of scam 100-point players are Jason Robertson and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is going to be playing on line 2 with Hyman. He wasn't playing with Draisaitl last game. You know, who knows? They may do some line juggling as Edmonton tends to do throughout the game. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins under half of a point. If McDavid was playing, this would scare me because he's obviously a part of that lethal power play. But since McDavid's not going to be playing, I'm not so worried about that power play burning me. So I'm going to go with that under half of a point for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And then in the other marquee matchup between two playoff teams out west, we got the Winnipeg Jets, who have been holding everyone to 2 or fewer in their building, just like we've been betting. But they're not going to be home in their building. They're going to L.A. to play those Kings who I just talked about, who have the best home record in the NHL. If you want to take the under 5.5 in this game, it's like minus 140. This is great. Like, this is playoff pricing for a game 6 or a game 7. We're getting that in a regular season game between two teams, and I can't even blame them because you have two teams who obviously play solid defense. You have a Winnipeg team who lost Gabe Vilardi, so I think their offensive ceiling is a little bit lower than it was. So if there's ever a team who needs to win low-scoring games, it's them, and you know the Kings are no stranger to low-scoring wins and holding other teams down. I mean, look, there's a reason the Kings are favored in this game against the number 1 seed in the West. It's because of how good they are on their own home ice. And while I do favor the Kings in this game, just like I did with that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins point, I'm going to try to isolate something on the Winnipeg Jets that's slightly better value. And for me, in this particular game, I'm going to go under half of a point for Nikolai Ehlers, who is on line 2, but he's not even with Perfetti and Nemestikov. So he's floating there on line 2. And what I'm hoping, while they were a top 3 power play so far this season, you know, they've added Iafallo to that top power play, so that takes time to adjust. So while you may look at their special teams and say, come on, Ehlers is on that top power play, it's a top... No. With Vilardi playing, it was a top 3 power play. But right now, with Iafallo, there's just, you know, some retinkering that they need to do. I haven't looked at what their power play percentage has been since Iafallo joined that top unit, but I think this is a nice calculated sniff for under half of a point on Nikolai Ehlers, a game in LA where they play solid defense all the time. If you want to take the under 2.5 goals for the Winnipeg Jets, it's like minus 115. So they're telling you they think the Jets are scoring under 2. And if they're scoring under 2, I'll take my chance that Nikolai Ehlers is not involved on either of those two. Give me the under half of a point for Nikolai Ehlers. Hey, look, don't get mad at me. I'm trying to warm you up. This is what you're going to need to know, unless you just want to be a big loser betting overs come playoff time. These are the types of bets you're going to need to make when the goals are at a premium and they're not free-flowing like they would be in a game between, I don't know, the San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks, who are also playing on this Tuesday. So if you're looking for ruckus, how about we go with Anaheim and San Jose? You saw what San Jose did for the Kings the other night. The big slick line came through. The Moore line came through. Any sort of combos that you would put together for the Kings, it was an 8-1 beating of the Sharks. Now they're going into Anaheim. Look, I'm not expecting Anaheim to put up an 8 spot, but San Jose, you know, they're pretty welcoming in terms of scoring chances, and I'm hoping that Anaheim can come through here, just like last week when I would say, let's just rip through those lines and try to nail some line combos against them. Let's just take all 3 Ducks lines and see if 2 of the 3 can come through. So let's go with Ryan Strome, Troy Terry, Frank Vetrano, all for a point. Then give me Mason McTavish and Trevor Zegras, both for a point. And then also give me that, well, second or third line, depending on who you ask. Alex Killorn, that made me throw up in my mouth. Leo Carlson and Cutter Gauthier, all 3 of them for a point. You're looking at solid prices. Let's hope that the Sharks do for us what they did a couple nights ago against the LA Kings. So that is what I have for you here on a Stack Tuesday. But before, how about did I not give it? How about a little pirate parlay? Very simple. Give me Macklin Celebrini for 2 points, Troy Terry for 2 points. That's going to put you well into the parlay profits. Now that's what I have for you on a busy Tuesday. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed here to my YouTube channel if you enjoy my videos. If you're not, just curse at me and never see me again. Also, if you guys want to be a minority owner of this show, you want to say you own something, you can do that by joining over on the Patreon, where I put out all those line combos. If you think those 3 ones were juicy for the Anaheim Ducks, I'm going to have them for all the teams. So if you guys want that, that is available for you over on my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Andy Francess. There's also chat rooms for all the sport. I mean, I'm not involved in all of them. I talk in the hockey one mostly, but there's a bunch of sniffers in there throwing out all sorts of pirate parlays and God knows what else. So I know a lot of people enjoy it for that. Obviously, people enjoy the very profitable line combos on the season. I hope to see you there. If not, no worries. I will see you tomorrow for another round of NHL Sniffs. Take it easy.
What's up, Sniffers? It's a Finnish Flash, Timo Solana here, reminding you to follow Andy for all the best NHL Sniffs on YouTube. Don't be a donkey. Like the video, leave a comment, and then you can go off and be a pirate.